Good morning and welcome aboard your Ticket to Paradise. And that's actually the movie we're going to be talking today. Hello, if this is your first time, I am the deputy of Movie Deputy Podcast. And if you're a longtime listener, you recognize this voice, or at least I hope so. So as I said today, we're going to be talking about Ticket to Paradise, the movie with George Clooney and Julia Roberts. This one it's a lot of fun in kind of a rom-com way. This type of movie would be a fun date movie, or just kind of maybe a movie for young couples, or even couples that have been together a while. Not necessarily aimed at the younger crowds at all. There's a few scenes that just borderline. It's just because of if there's a few scenes that I'm going to go ahead and give it a guilty rating on the deputy scale on that. Like I said, it's probably not better for the younger viewers, but there's nothing like overly inappropriate, which I did appreciate with that one at least. This one, it deals with the problem that a lot of families deal with. And unfortunately, way too many families have to deal with stuff like this. But in Ticket to Paradise, David and Georgia fall in love many years ago, and they get married and they have a kid. They have Lily. Well, they soon after their marriage, they realize, we made a mistake, and they get a divorce, and then they share custody of Lily because she's growing up. She grows up, goes off to college. And so here we're seeing David and Georgia reconnecting just briefly and very unexpectedly, I guess. Oh, I guess it's expected, but unexpected, as Lily is graduating from law school. And they're so excited. She's going to go out and become a lawyer. And she's graduating, I believe it's summa cum laude, if I remember right, if I'm remembering that correctly. So, I mean, they're just absolutely celebrating with her. And they know she's getting ready to travel off to Bali with her best friend and just celebrate and relax and unwind before her life starts. But the animosity between David and Georgia is the true comedic relief that this movie has throughout the movie. Is they hate each other is probably the nicest way to put it. There's a lot of animosity. There's a lot of just attitude along that goes with that. And so Lily goes off, they go attend the graduation, and they're arguing about who loves her more and all this kind of stuff. And then they see her off to Bali, and everything seems like it's going great until they receive some information from her that she's actually staying in Bali because she's in love and going to get married. Well, that's not going to work for David or Georgia at all. So they're getting ready to fly down to Bali to see Lily and try to talk her out of it and try to get her back on track with life. What they don't realize is that they're on the same flight. And not only are they on the same flight, they're basically sitting like practically side by side. There's just one person in between them. So with their animosity, you can imagine the chaos that goes on during this flight. And once they get there, they are both just determined to sabotage Lily's new relationship. It's an entirely different culture from what they've seen. And they truly have to learn how to recognize what love is, because Lily has found true love and she's really happy, and they can't recognize it because they've never really seen that themselves, or at least never really had it where they could recognize what it was. Her new fiance, his family has just accepted her with open arms. They just love her to death. The thing with like Georgia and David on this, they don't feel the same way in return. And like I said, they're trying to do things to this relationship to sabotage everything that's going on. But the more they try to fight to be apart, the more they are realizing, hey, there might still be a spark there. But knowing the relationship that these two have had over the years, you can just imagine how this movie comes full circle. Will Lily get to live happily ever after? Will David and Georgia hook up for some type of one-night stand? Or is there something more? Or will they just go further apart and just create even more of a mess? Like I said, it's kind of a rom-com, dramatic comedy of sorts. There's a lot going on to it. And again, don't worry, nothing I've given you here is anything close to a spoiler, so don't worry there. But you'll laugh, you may get teary-eyed and stuff. I wouldn't say you'd like full-on cry on that. You get to see a lot of the Balinese culture, which is just beautiful, and you fall in love with the islands of thing. On like a little side note, I've always dreamt of going to Tahiti, and Bali and Tahiti are very similar, so I just was like getting lost in the scenery and things with that and the different culture. But back to the movie on that. But there's a really important message here that's kind of expressed throughout the movie. And it's expressed in different ways. The quote comes up at a couple different times in the movie, though it's reworded a little bit differently. But I think it's an important one to take away, aside from the movie. It's an important quote, I think, for life. But it's that being loved is not the same thing as loving. And that may not make sense to some people, but the more you think about it, the more sense it'll make, as weird as that sounds. If you do decide to embark that you want to check out this movie, and this is one that you want to check out and watch and experience it for yourself, you'll definitely want to stay into the credits, because there are some bloopers in the credits that are definitely worth waiting for. I was honestly laughing harder in the credits than I was for the rest of the movie. So, like I said, it was an enjoyable watch. You're probably wondering what I gave it on the Deputy scale. You already know I gave it a guilty rating, but I actually gave this one a 5.75 out of 10. Now, you may think, oh, that's not a really great score, but like I said, the story is clunky at times, just because just the animosity that's going on. But it's an enjoyable movie. It's a fun movie. Like I said, you'll definitely laugh on this one. But like I said, it's not for everybody, and it's just, I don't know, it's not one of those ones that you want to go out and tell your friends about. Like, oh my word, you've got to go see this movie. But it's not one of those ones that you'll forget about either easily. So I hope that'll help you out a little bit. And I love bringing the variety of movies to you guys. I love talking to you about the serious movies and the documentaries and the mockumentaries and the religious movies and the not religious movies. And I've got some good horror movies coming up that I'm really excited. And I've got actually some really horrible horror movies coming out too. There's one that I'm going to be talking to you about in the next couple days. It's another one of those ones that's, I think it'll be described as a waste of film. But yeah, you'll understand when we do get around to that one. But again, this is your sayonara on the Ticket to Paradise. I hope you enjoyed the trip, and I will talk to you later. Bye.